What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Well, XRP and Pepe are both giving us some very bullish signs, and I was like, well, you know what? Since they're both kind of doing something similar, why not just put one video together for you, combine the two, and deliver it to you as fast as possible? And so with that said, let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into the video. Now, guys, don't forget, if you do want to trade a little XRP and Pepe yourself on all the way up to 500x leverage, you can use that BTCC link down below. Guys, if you do sign up specifically with my link down below, they're going to give you a 10% bonus on first-time deposits between $500 and $100,000. This means that if you deposit, say, $3,000, they're going to give you $300 back on the spot to start trading with, and whatever profit you make from that $300 is yours to keep, no strings attached. You can reinvest it, withdraw it, do whatever you want with it. So it's literally an opportunity to make free gains during the bull market. So if you want to go check that out, again, I will leave that link to BTCC down below. Now, what we're going to do today, let's break this up into two different parts. Okay, the first part we're going to go over Pepe. The second part we're going to go over XRP. Now, although they are seeing different setups by nature, what they are doing is about the same, and that's kind of why I wanted to bring this video for you today. Now, what they're both doing, just to give you a little bit of context, what they're both doing right now is they both have actually started putting themselves in a position to where if this current support levels in which they're at right now do hold, we might start to see them start really rallying soon. I believe that both Pepe and XRP could be on the brink of a breakout to the upside sometime soon, but something very specific needs to happen. Now, what we're going to see from both of them today are the fact that they've both recently cleared some very important resistance levels, and what they're doing at this given point is they're coming back down to back test them. You all know that back testing is the act of going back and retesting a previous level in which you either broke to the upside or broke to the downside. So in an instance in which, of course, you break up above a resistance level, you're going to come back down and try to build some support on top of it. The analogy that I gave yesterday, for example, is, say if we have something like this, right? So resistance level, let's do it, how do we want to do this? Let's say resistance level right here, resistance level here and here, okay? And the price of a crypto starts going up. You have bulls and you have bears. We went over this analogy yesterday, but for any of you who didn't see it, you have bulls and you have bears. Let's just make this a whole Game of Thrones thing, okay? You have your bulls and you have your bears. Your bulls want to go up, your bears don't want you to go up. And so what happens is all of the territory above you is bearish territory. This is the territory of the bears, the land of the bears, right? Something crazy like that. And so what happens is that every time you run into a resistance level, this is like a stronghold for the bears, right? This is like their fortress. And what you're going to do is you're going to try to break through that stronghold and you're going to go back to it to turn it into your stronghold. You're going to create that and flip it into a support level. That's your stronghold. So you flip it from resistance, bearish stronghold, to support, bullish stronghold. And then you push on to the next stronghold and the next stronghold. And what you want to do is see these support levels established, because this means you've clearly won this battle here and there are no questions. And so because of that, it's very important to be looking for these things that are called back tests, which is simply when you're trying to turn that bearish fortress into a bullish fortress. So in today's video, what you're going to notice a ton is that Pepe and both XRP have recently broken out and above very key levels, and where they are right now is in a moment in which they're trying to attempt to flip those into bullish fortresses. And I believe that if they can successfully do it, for Pepe, I think we could see a move to the upside of some given point from anywhere from 30 to 50%. And I think with XRP, we could see a move to the upside over time. Of course, not immediately, of anywhere from also 30 to 50%. Not saying, again, it would be right now, but I definitely do think it could happen over time. And so now that you have a good understanding of course, boom, we want to see support here, support there. Let's talk about what those support levels are, what you need to be on the lookout for, and what these bullish signals are that we're getting from them over the last 24 hours. Now, I will give you a bit of a warning. Some of the things that I'm about to go over in this video will get a little complicated because I might start bringing up RSI, MACD, Fibonacci's, Bollinger Bands, and all these different things. And all I want to tell you is this. If you're a beginner who is brand new to this world of crypto, or advanced and you're just trying to add more tools to your toolbox, what I want specifically from you is to just stick around at the end of the video. At the end of the video, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we're doing over in the Patreon. We're currently speaking, due to all of the classes and live streams and courses and all these things we're releasing every single day, signals, buy and sell alerts, and much more. We have a community that is literally generating hundreds of percentages, if not thousands of percentages in gains every day. Matter of fact, we had a guy just last night putting in $1,000 gains, $6,000 gains. Shout out to Sosa Aces, absolutely going nuts. So if you want to be a part of this and you want to just start elevating in crypto, whether you're a beginner or advanced, again, all I ask is you just stick around until the end of the video. Now, let's first and foremost start off with Pepe. Okay, let's talk about what's going on with Pepe and this key level of support that we want to see held. So Pepe recently, and I talked to you about this in yesterday's video, but let's just go over it again, has recently broken above this green box. Okay, now this green box, quite simply, let me just remove all these drawings real quick, is the Fibonacci zone that was created from this swing high, the high that we put in at kind of the peak of the excitement back in November, to the low in which we put in right here. What you can do is you can use a tool called the Fibonacci Fibonacci's and draw it from this high down to the slope, and that's going to give you this yellow box. But since we're talking about Pepe, we turn this yellow box, which is the golden Fibonacci ratio, and quite simply is just the most important Fibonacci that there is, we turn this into a green box because it's green like Pepe. That's the only reason why. Now, what we can see is that Pepe struggled here, right? It obviously struggled to break that box here. It struggled to break it here, and it struggled to break it here, but it did finally do it back here. And what Pepe's doing at this exact moment is that it's now come back down, and it is trying to take this, remember, bearish territory, this resistance zone, and flip it into bullish territory, flip it into a support zone. And as you can see, it's done an okay job, okay? It's done an okay job. I actually do believe that Pepe kind of got screwed by the market here. When the market initially started falling, Pepe actually held up extremely well. So I actually think it would have, had the market not kind of just dumped on its own head, I think Pepe probably would have continued upwards and started pushing to these higher levels. But you got to understand, it is a meme coin at the end of the day. And so at some point, if the market's falling, it's just going to start falling. And it did start pulling back to within the green box. Now, what you can see here, and what we talked about in yesterday's video, was the fact that Pepe has now gotten stuck within a range. It has its golden Fibonacci golden zone right above it, but it has the green box right below it. And Pepe's entire task right now, the biggest thing that it needs to do, quite frankly, is to simply just not go below this green box. It can. It's not the end of the world if it does, but I do believe if it does, Pepe easily may fall another 10 to 20% to the downside, which who wants to do that, right? Nobody really wants to go through that, I guess, unless you want to buy some more. And so because of that, I told you yesterday, like, hey, I'll update you as we start working our way back down here, but it is very important that we see Pepe's price hold support, and what we actually are seeing that right now, and that is the bullish signal that I wanted to tell you about specifically for Pepe. What we can see here is that if we just get rid of everything off the chart one more time, and we draw in our micro Fibonacci, so a small Fibonacci from this swing low all the way up to that retracement high that we put in right here, running into the golden zone to the top side, you can see that the bulls actually just stepped in at a very important time, because I got a little bit concerned, and I told you, hey guys, tomorrow if we lose, yesterday I told you, sorry, that if we lose 23, things might get ugly. We need to see the bottom side of this golden zone hold up, or yeah, we might see Pepe really just come back towards a 2-0 level, or maybe even lower to the 1-9 level, and things just might not be too good, right? But what you can see is that as Pepe's price did start pulling towards the downside, the bulls stepped in literally at the last minute. Exactly when we needed them to, they did. You can see here, MACD. As soon as we got down here and it started over and extending, we started to see the bullish momentum start to slow in, a little bit, and kind of slow down that bearish momentum there. You look at something like your RSI. The moment we got down there, as soon as we hit this little 40% threshold right here, boom, we push right back to the upside to retest this moving average right here. If we do look at something like our Bollinger Bands, let me get those pulled up. There we go. For our Bollinger Band, the moment we started getting towards the bottom side of that envelope, boom, the bulls stepped in and are pushing us back up towards that 20 simple moving average. And so although we're not in a spot right now where we can say for sure that Pepe is going to hold, and by the time this video releases, maybe it'll have fallen through. That sucks. Oh well, we'll talk about it and figure it out if that does happen. It is at least a good sign that the bulls are still willing to step in a moment like this, and it gives us a little bit more of an opportunity here, in my opinion, for us to be able to flip this bearish territory, this resistance zone, into a support zone. So again, I'm not going to go out and say that this again ensures that we are going to see Pepe's price bounce to the upside, but it does make it more possible, if not more likely, and that's good enough for me. So I just wanted to update you real quick on what we're seeing from Pepe, and the fact that we did get the bullish signal that the bulls are stepping in a moment where we really needed them to. But of course, tomorrow I'll give you another update on what's going on here if we do either maintain or if we do start pulling to the downside. Now, looking at XRP, it's a bit of a similar situation, but a little bit of a different one. So from XRP's perspective, what you all know is we're tracking this descending channel. Now, when you have these descending channels, what you have to understand is that just because you break out of a descending channel doesn't mean that we're just going to go to Valhalla, right? We're not just going to go straight up to the upside. We're not going to climb heaven's stairs. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done. Descending channels are my favorite structures, right? They're my favorite structures quite simply because they are very easy to predict. The support levels are very easy to predict. You know exactly when to be buying in this thing to have the best chance in making some money. I told you all, hey, we're going to do a little bit of buying as soon as we got into this green box down here, and next thing you know, what do you know, right? We see the prices pumping, 16-17%. So we're up real good on these, but I told you all in yesterday's video, even though we're breaking out right here, a couple things need to happen. Now, I'm not going to go into full breakdown in detail of the 3 steps that need to happen to confirm a breakout of a descending channel, but put simply what they are is we need to see XRP's price break out and back test. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is you need to clear the previous high that was set in the channel. That's step number 2. And then step number 3 is you need to clear the top side golden Fibonacci zone, which just so conveniently happens to also be where step number 2 is. So step number 3. So step number 2 and 3 happen once we clear $2.65. Step number 1 happens once XRP can break out, back test, and maintain support outside of this. So knowing obviously that the goal right now then is for us to complete step 1, which is for, of course, the support establishment to happen. Because remember, like, when you're claiming this bearish territory, when you push through bearish territory and you come back down to it, it's not always linear, right? Sometimes it's a descending channel, sometimes it's an ascending channel, sometimes it's a structure, right? Sometimes you break above a structure and you want to flip this bearish structure right here into a bullish structure, right? And so what we can see at this exact moment is that the bearish territory that we were trying to clear, the resistance zone, was this descending channel right here. And our goal was to take this resistance and flip it into support. And what we can see is that since our video yesterday, we actually have seen XRP's price start doing that. XRP came down on the 4-hour charts and it spent 12 hours sitting at that previous point of support or previous point of resistance, flipping it into support. You can see we had here, here, and here. All 3 times we saw XRP's price get rejected back to the upside by the bulls stepping in. As the bulls are stepping in, we started to see the intertwinement of the MACD, which is a good thing in my opinion because we obviously saw the bearish cross, but the fact that the bulls were willing to step in this moment, it is a good sign because oftentimes when you see these little moments like this where you get that bearish cross, it's not unusual for it to actually start pushing upwards when you get intertwinement, similar to what we saw like back here. You see how we got like the bearish cross, or we got the bullish cross, then the bearish cross, and then the bullish cross again, and then we started pumping. That happens a lot of the time, and it's a little bit of a different situation here, but it is a good sign. You look at something like your RSI. As we were seeing the 4-hour price come back down to this channel, we saw this 4-hour RSI balancing and bending some support on top of that 50% level on the RSI, which is also a good sign because it's building its own support level there. If we do look at something like our Bollinger Bands, let me get that pulled up for you. You can see here that we are seeing XRP's price maintaining support on top of the 20 simple moving average, and has actually been struggling to lose it, which is usually a good sign that we are building some support. And even if it does fall to the bottom side, it usually doesn't fall very far, and then it'll try to recover upwards. So where we are right now is like, okay, well, it doesn't guarantee obviously that this is the final support. If you remember when SWE broke out of one of these, when was that? Yeah, that was back here, right? You remember when SWE broke out of this descending channel right here? We broke out and we held for a little while, and then we came back down again, and then we went. That is still possible for XRP. So I'm not going to go out and say that this is the confirmed breakout and back test. We may end up seeing it come back down one more time to come retest these lower levels, but it doesn't really matter, right? You can't really control if that happens. You can just control what the signals are, and the signals say that we are getting some bullish signs that even if it does pull back, the bulls will probably be willing to step in here, meaning that step 1 has a pretty decent size chance. I would say like 65 to 75% chance that we actually see step 1 get complete, and then we can open up the door for step 2 and step 3. Because remember, once those 2 steps are done, that opens the door for XRP's price to push anywhere from $3.28 to $3.80. And again, that could be a nice move. I mean, we're talking 35 to 60% to the upside. So because of that, very good signs here from XRP. I love the fact that the bulls are stepping in. They're doing the same thing for Pepe, as we mentioned earlier. They're stepping in when they need to, and that opens the door again for opportunity when this market does end up in the right spot. And so because of that, very good signs coming from both XRP and Pepe. And I know I usually do separate videos on the two, but considering they're both bending and holding support at this exact moment, I do think it made a lot of sense to just put them together, but I would like your thoughts on that down below. Now, speaking of down below, as I did mention earlier, if you are somebody who is just simply trying to get better at this whole crypto thing, I really encourage you to check out Tyler Hill's Crypto Vault. It's my own personal Discord community that you can join. And guys, you're going to get access to insights with Tyler. This is where I go and give my thoughts and insights, some of my buys and sells and changes to my portfolio and just things like that. And feel free to pause this video at any given point to just kind of read some of the stuff that I throw in there for him. You get exclusive live shows, Crypto Vault Live, Q&A with Cade, Fridays with Frank. These are crypto veterans, people who've been in the space 5, 6, 7 years, giving you exclusive content. We have daily technical analysis on all of your favorite cryptos. We have fundamental analysis on the market. I have a professional team of traders posting their buy and sell signals, and you can see they're generating gain after gain after gain, and the community's following some of these trades and they're making gains. Ooh, does it look good. We have premium classes. These are classes by me and other coaches, for example, the power of blockchain analysis, a beginner's guide to Ripple, a masterclass on the Bollinger Bands, a masterclass on the Fibonacci's, things that I've provided. I have beginner's courses on technical analysis for beginners, 30 minutes long, 20-page presentation, vocabulary, cheat sheet, and much more. Same thing on leverage trading. I have a few more of those releasing soon. And then lastly, there's tips with Tyler, which are these 2 to 3 minute long videos that I upload every now and then on just random stuff. You can pause and read this if you'd like. All of these things combined are cultivating a community that are generating insane gain. I'm talking actually insane gains. I have never in my life seen this many gains coming from a community that's just this new. And again, we have people like Sosa Aces coming in with $7,000 gains, 100% gains, 169, 240. It's absolutely nuts. So if you are somebody who wants to learn all the lessons that they're learning, create similar strategies to what they're using, and use those strategies and do just like these people, and be making hundreds if not thousands of percentages in gains every single day. Obviously, you're not going to make thousands of percentages in gains every day, but I'm just saying the community makes a bunch of games per day. Let me put that out there. Of course, you can check out that link down below. Now, if you do want to check that out, guys, it is the cost of a Netflix subscription or cheaper, $17 a month or $5 a month. I think that is an insane deal. And let me know your thoughts on that down below too. We have about 752 paid members right now. So if you want to join a huge community of people who are learning, growing, and making money, join that down below. And don't forget, I do like to upload 4, 5, 6 videos every single day throughout the week. So if you have been enjoying them, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I can't wait to see you all next time. Peace out, everybody.